You're watching Talkin' Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Talkin' Ducks is presented by Pacific ClearVision Institute and Les Schwab Tire Centers. Welcome into the final edition of Talkin' Ducks for this season. We cap things off by taking a look back at the spring game. Was it a success as 42,000 people attended? We'll hear from head coach Dan Lanning. Also, we'll talk more about the quarterback battle. Did we see some separation between Bo Nix and Ty Thompson? And then this Oregon defense that Dan Lanning will orchestrate. Our thoughts about that, and then we'll give you some early projections for next season as the next upcoming game for the Ducks against the defending national champion, Georgia Bulldogs in Atlanta. But let's go ahead and get to our opening drive, brought to you by Les Schwab Tire Centers, where they've been doing the right thing since 1952, and we'll bring in from the Oregonian a good friend, Aaron Fentress, Joey Harrington. You know, let's start with you on this year, Joey. You look at this spring game, and let's just get to what it meant to have Oregon football again in Eugene.
Well, you asked the question, was it a success? 42,000 people at Autzen for a spring game. Players excited, fans excited. This is exactly what this coaching staff needed to do. This was the most energetic, people talking about, the old days of Chip Kelly's offense, Coach Lanning bringing in alumni to be guest coaches. This was truly a celebration of Oregon football. And it's been an interesting couple months leading up to this. But up to this point, obviously, we'll see what happens with, the results on the field. But this coaching staff has done everything that I think the community, the team, the alums, the media, they have just been in lockstep with what they should be doing. And it played out on Saturday at the spring game. I think 42,000 people, that's gotta be a record for an Oregon spring game. It was Jordan, when we were playing, I think maybe $5,000 showed up, if that. Yeah, this was as good a spring game as you could have actually hoped for.
Yeah, well said. Let's go ahead and listen into Dan Lanning, his thoughts after getting his first taste of Autzen Stadium at this year's spring game.
You could smell it out there today. There was a tailgate experience. The environment is something that, we played in pregame in our meeting today. We kind of showed, hey, what's the Autzen environment? What's it like to play here? And I think, our players got a chance to really experience that today. We have over 42,000 fans. That's pretty special for a spring game.
So, Aaron, everything that Joey said and what Coach Lanning said, it really did feel like there was this resurgence of just the excitement around Oregon football. Not that it wasn't exciting with Mario Cristobal, but this just had a different feel to it when you look at sort of the energy and the connectivity with the community also.
Why do you do this to me? Why do you set me up like this to be the bad guy? You just say ridiculous things. No, listen, I agree and I don't agree. Look, this happened with Mario. After Taggart left, and it was an amazing spring game, and oh my God. And now it's like, oh, Mario left. Now it's amazing. It's so different. Listen, the Oregon fan base is resilient, as we've seen. They've gone through the 4-8 season. They went through Taggart ditching them. Now Mario's ditched them. Now you got new staff, and they're embracing him just like they embraced Mario, just like they had embraced Taggart. They're resilient to adversity. That's what it shows about this fan base. The fact that you have 42,000 people, and most of them drove down from Portland, right? So you looking at a 4.5-hour round trip with the traffic to go to a spring game. That says a lot about this fan base. It sucked for this base that Mario left because most of the base really fell for Mario. They loved him, and then he ditched them, but Lanning has reeled them back in. He's replaced the ex-lover who jilted them, and he's better. He's more handsome. He's nicer. He's kinder. He's this, he's that. And the fan base has bought into it, and it's fun to see. I didn't go to the game, but I watched it. When people said 42,000, I looked at the videos because me, I'm like 42,000, and I checked it out. I'm like, yeah, that's about 42,000. That was impressive, and they were rabid. They were into it. The first play to Seven McGee, they were fired up. So yeah, this was a great event for the new staff, for Lanning, for the fans. It's that football fix, right? It's like you go through a season that ended as bad as it did, and Mario left, and then you have some doldrums of the winter, and now boom, spring, beautiful day, fans are out, you got a bunch of excitement with the new coach and the new staff and new players blossoming in front of you. Great day for Oregon football, no doubt.
Yeah, and on top of it, I think, again, there were some individual players that really seemed to stand out that understand it's a spring game, that this isn't a true game, a real look at what they're going to be looking like come during the regular season, but some individual players certainly stood out. When we come back, we'll highlight those, but we'll talk more about the quarterback battle when we come back. It was Bo Nix versus Ty Thompson. Who stood out? Who maybe separated themselves? We'll let you know when we come back on Talkin' Ducks.
With 9 locations in the Pacific Northwest, Parr's Cabinet Design Center features everything from outdoor cabinets and countertops to sinks and hardware. Thousands of door styles and colors available to order, as well as kitchen and bath cabinets in stock. All available at the Parr Cabinet Design Center.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Thanks, kiddo.
Give everyone peace of mind on the road. Swing by or book online. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Being able to get LASIK gave me the opportunity to not worry about putting contacts in every day, and just kind of made my life a little easier. Pacific ClearVision Institute was just incredible through my entire experience. The staff was very welcoming. Dr. Embody, he really just kind of laid it out and made me feel comfortable and gave me confidence to know that I was in good hands. I would definitely recommend Pacific ClearVision Institute for any sort of laser eye surgery.
Welcome to your Capital Toyota.
From the moment you walk through the doors, we're here for you.
Buy, sell, trade.
We got you covered.
It's everything you need in one place.
Great service? Check.
Easy to work with?
Check.
We want you to be happy, and it shows in everything we do.
Because we respect your time.
It's all the quality and convenience in one package.
New or Toyota certified pre-owned.
Our people are your people.
Capital Toyota. It's your way on the Parkway.
Stories tell us that great leaders are anointed at birth, chosen by the hand of fate. But those are just stories.
You're watching Talkin' Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Welcome back. Time to put things into focus. Brought to you by Pacific ClearVision Institute, the official eye doctors and eye surgeons of the Oregon Ducks. And let's go ahead and hear from Bo Nix after his spring game performance.
To be honest, with the crowd like that, I thought it was an impressive spring game. I wasn't expecting that many people for a spring game, but that was pretty cool. The atmosphere was fun. It was just fun seeing all the green and yellow and playing with my teammates, and we all just had a good time. I think it was all right. Obviously, as a job of a quarterback, you want to be explosive and score touchdowns, and we did that, but at the same time, you want to be kind of consistent, have a great completion percentage. And today was a little weird. Obviously, it's not like a game because you do a lot of subbing and a lot of different things that kind of get you out of a rhythm. But that's also good because in a game, you're not going to have the best rhythm all the time, so you got to focus and know how to get yourself out of those situations. And so I like to see my completion percentage be better and just complete passes. And like everyone showed today, when you get the ball out to the guys that we have, we can be explosive, and so that's just my job.
All right, so Joey, Bo Nix really got this spring game off started with some fireworks, the 70-plus yard completion to Seven McGee to start the game. And what did you make of the way that he looked out there, knowing that, okay, this is a spring game, you can't actually hit the quarterback, but was there anything you could take away from what you saw?
Do you actually want to come to me first? Because we could just go to Aaron and he could argue both sides of it. I mean, he could talk about all the quarterbacks.
No. I think you can be pretty clear and direct here.
Okay, good. Look, I'm actually going to reference something that, and kind of have it be the overarching theme of my thoughts today that Aaron said last week. Who was it that you referenced? Was it Jeff Lockie's game, maybe a spring game years ago? Goes 9 for 9 for 7,000 yards and a couple of touchdowns, right? And it was a spring game, right? That being said, so let's take that as kind of the umbrella. Like, this isn't going to make a decision. We will have players that break out, but what it does is it gives just another opportunity. And I think what you take away from Bo Nix's performance in this opportunity was that it was steady. It was crisp. It was under control, right? And I think that the explosiveness will come. I mean, obviously, the start of the game was an explosive play, but like, I think if I'm an offensive coach right now, I feel good knowing that this is why you brought the guy in, right? This is why you brought in a Bo Nix, to be that steady rock. He didn't do anything to disappoint that. Now, does that mean the job's going to be his in the fall? No, it doesn't. But I think it just solidifies who he is in that quarterback room and how the rest of the team views him.
So, Aaron, watching this game, I think my biggest takeaway, and this is where I want you to agree or disagree, I truly feel like Bo Nix separated himself as the starter. I didn't really see much between he and Ty Thompson that made it seem like it was going to be that close of a competition come this fall. Did you get that same feeling afterwards?
I thought Bo Nix won the job. No, I thought Ty Thompson won the job. Okay, I've had it out with myself. No, look, they brought in Bo Nix, and I think Mario would have brought in someone like Nix too because they didn't have a proven quarterback on the roster that they could trust. And so I think Nix has a ceiling, and I think everyone hopes that Ty Thompson's ceiling, based on his recruiting numbers and prowess and all that kind of stuff, that his ceiling is Mariota or Herbert. That's the fantasy, that's the hope, as sometimes unrealistic as that could be. So if he elevates to that level, he moves past Nix, because I think we all know Nix has a certain ceiling. Based on the spring game and based on the reports coming out of spring ball, that didn't happen. He didn't elevate past Nix, and I think what we saw in the spring game is that he's not there yet. Now, does that mean he can't get there over the summer and fall camp? I mean, he could, but I think that, for me, undoubtedly, Nix is going to be the starter. Now, based on the springs I've covered in the past, I remember a lot of guys having really good spring games and at multiple positions, even quarterback, and not necessarily becoming great Oregon quarterbacks or even starters. I can't recall a guy having mediocre to bad spring games at quarterback and still someday or even the next year becoming the guy at quarterback. So that's a little alarming based on history. Doesn't mean it can't happen. But right now, Nix is the dude moving forward. You said yourself, like, he seemed studied, Joey. He seemed like a veteran guy who's been there, done that, who started 3 years in the SEC. That matters, and that's going to matter in the fall. For me, though, Ty Thompson, be patient with him, give him time. Sometimes people don't blossom their first or second year. Sometimes it takes several years. There's nothing wrong with that. Hopefully he sticks around and keeps maturing and becomes the quarterback he has the potential to become. But it's not going to be this fall.
I remember
before we start talking about Ty Thompson, let's hear from him after his spring game performance. He was able to throw 1 touchdown, but also had 2 interceptions in that game. Here's Ty Thompson.
Poor. I mean, I had 2 turnovers myself, so you always want to come out of a day like today clean, and I didn't, so just stuff to fix there on film.
Where do you feel like you made progress over the last month in spring practice time?
Yeah, I feel like I grew as a quarterback overall. I mean, learning this offense has kind of been a growing step for me. I mean, individually learning things, I feel like reading people and players as well as coverage at the same time. I mean, putting the ball in the best playmaker's hands in the best situation, and knowing situational downs and where we want to go with the ball, stuff like that.
And really, when you look at the situation with Thompson here, you've got a guy in his final year of eligibility in Nix here, Joey, and then Thompson, who still has 4 years technically. If you're Thompson, maybe the spring game doesn't go the way that you want it, but you still have a long ways to go before you have to make a decision about whether or not this is going to be the school for you. Because I think a lot of the chatter, let's be honest, amongst the fan base is, well, if Nix gets the job, Thompson's going to transfer. I don't think it's that cut and dry.
Transfer where?
I don't know. Not this year, but
no,
next
I know,
season
but
possibly.
I mean, no, he's too young. Like, to me, you don't transfer as a quarterback until you find yourself behind someone who's younger than you. So when Herbert was clearly the guy coming out of 2016, I mean, I basically said there's no way that Travis Johnson and Terry Wilson are sticking around. They're basically the same grade. They're going to stick around and be backup for the next 3 years? That doesn't make any sense. And both were gone by the end of the next spring, right? And you had Burmeister. So Ty's not in that situation. Now, if Ty ends up third and Butterfield's ahead of him, then you start thinking, okay, well, Ty Thompson probably should leave because they're probably going to bring in another quarterback next year. So then you'd have Nix could still play another year, but then you have Butterfield ahead of him, a new freshman coming in. Then it gets kind of sticky. But as of right now, where's he going to go? Like, if he goes somewhere now, he's not going to start in the fall unless he goes down a level. I doubt he wants to do that. He's too young to do that. Just stick it out. Stick in this offense. Learn from Nix. Learn under Dillingham. And then if Bo leaves after this next year, you're probably the front runner, and hopefully you've matured and grown in this system, and now you'll be a redshirt sophomore, which in the grand scheme of the world should be about when you start to really become the starter. I mean, ideally you have a guy start for 2, maybe 3 years, and then there's a guy behind him learning for 2 years, and then he takes over. Not, I'm a true freshman, I'm just going to light it up. That's unusual, and it shouldn't be expected.
All right, when we come back on Talkin' Ducks, we'll take a look at the wide receiver position, one of the bright spots of the spring game. We'll let you know how much depth the Ducks will have next season.
Eugene Airport is a proud part of what makes Western Oregon such a unique place to be. With nonstop routes that connect to hundreds of destinations, fly local, fly EUG.
In the heart of the South Willamette Valley, just 12 miles southwest of Eugene, distinctive handcrafted wines are waiting for you at Sylvan Ridge Winery. Sylvan Ridge Wines bring unassuming, casual elegance to your homes, tables, and celebrations, and are best paired with the mainstays of a social gathering: good food, fond friends, and lively conversation. Discover our wines by visiting our tasting room. For a list of events or to plan your visit, go to sylvanridge.com. Proud partners of the Oregon Ducks.
Parr Lumber is committed to providing the best customer service. We provide personal service. We're problem solvers. We're positive and courteous. We're competent and professional. We are committed to delivering exceptional service every time. We're appreciative and we care. We are Parr Lumber.
Since 1961, Comfort Flow Heating has provided service to more than 50,000 homes and businesses in the Willamette Valley. While the technology and techniques in our industry have changed, our founding principles have remained the same: to provide exceptional service in all areas of our business and for our customers to enjoy their products from us and be comfortable for years to come.
From all of us at Comfort Flow, thank you for choosing us.
Go Ducks!
Sometimes leadership is scary, but so is regret.
You're watching Talkin' Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Welcome back. It's time for our Thing of Beauty, presented by Dr. Lee B. Daniel and Aesthetic Plastic Surgery. Live Beautiful. Here's Dante Thornton after his spring game performance, and Chase Cota and his relationship with Bo Nix.
It was a great day out there for me. I feel like I had an amazing day. Me and the whole yellow team. Like the receiver corps today, I feel like our whole receiver corps, green or yellow, we had an amazing day. Oh man, Chase Cota was going crazy today. Like I was like, damn, why I want Chase Cota on my team? Like, yeah, I think he had like 6 catches for like 100 yards, but I would have thought it was more than that the way he was playing. But he played great today, in my opinion. So when Bo first got here, like our relationship grew because like I had number 10, and he wanted like number 10, so I was like, he can get number 10, and then from there our relationship grew. Like we work out every single day, get extra work in before practice, after practice. So like our relationship has grown a lot. Like he came in and took me on his wing as an older quarterback, like to really teach me what I needed to do. So I really appreciate Bo a lot.
Was it tough for you to give up that number?
Nah. Because I want to change my number anyway, so like it's good.
What does number 2 mean to you?
It means a lot. So like Devin Williams, he was here last year. He won number 2, and he's one of my biggest inspirations playing football here. So like I wanted to wear number 2, and I like the era continues. That's why I said the era lives on.
All right, well, Joey, Dante Thornton looked pretty solid out there. Are you doubling down on your prediction with him this year? I know you're really high on what he could possibly do for the Ducks this next season.
Okay, so I've made one wide receiver prediction in the history of the show, right? Is that a fair thing?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so I jumped on that Devin Allen bandwagon the year prior to him. I was like, this guy's got speed. He's got something. I saw just an explosion out of Dante Thornton in just like garbage time at the beginning of last season. I was like, this guy's gonna be something special. And then I heard him do an interview, and I love him because the guy talks so fast and he's got so much energy and he's just like full of just like everything you want from a football player, from a guy who wants to learn, he wants to study, and he wants to get better, and he wants to glean everything he can from the guy who's been in the SEC, and he's just got this passion for it. I love this guy. I love the way he plays on the field. I love the way he interacts with the media, the way he interacts with the fans. I love his passion for the game. I'm all on board. I am on the train, and I think he's going to have a heck of a breakout year.
Aaron, I know you have a wonderful eye for wide receiver talent. You called it after my first practice ever that I'd get a crack in the NFL. And so you look at these guys, and you break down what you saw in the spring game. You've got a keen eye for all this. What was your takeaway from the Whiteouts?
You know, wide receiver at Oregon has been really a fascinating position. I need to write something about this too, because they just had 2 quarterbacks go top 6 in 15 and 19. Those guys played 7 years combined. And then you had Vernon Adams had a crazy season that 1 year when he played. That's 8 elite level quarterback seasons that Oregon had. And there's not one Oregon wide receiver from those eras in the NFL, unless I'm forgetting somebody. I don't count Juwan Johnson because he was a Penn State guy. Not one guy that Oregon recruited who developed into an NFL receiver. And you see even Red and Johnny Johnson coming in to the NFL now, maybe. I mean, I think Johnson has a shot to maybe stick. Red, I'm not so sure. But they're 4'6", guys, and they're undersized. Like, Oregon has needed those dudes at receiver. They've had some good receivers, don't get me wrong. Braylon Addison, Harrington, Devin Allen, I think actually could have developed maybe into an NFL guy, and maybe he will be one now with the Eagles. But they haven't had those guys that make other teams just be like, oh my God, what are we going to do with this? Now, production-wise, they're in a better shape in returning production than they were in 2014 when Marcus won the Heisman. The leading receiver returning that year was Keenan Lowe at like 200 yards. Devin Allen's a redshirt freshman, Harrington redshirt freshman. So they were really green at that position. And obviously Marcus made it work. They don't have a Marcus at quarterback. So my only concern is I see a lot of talent, but they're still green in some areas. And Joey will tell you better than anyone that there's a difference between being really talented and being a really good receiver, and the nuances of being where you need to be so I can get rid of the ball on time and not hesitate and wait and get killed or throw a bad pass. And that's where Coda runs in. Because if I've got these 3 burners out there in Hudson, Franklin, and Thornton who are all athletic but still green, and I can let them grow and do their thing, but I got someone like Coda who I know if he has a 16-yard dig, he's not going to run a 14-yard post. He's not going to run an 18-yard curl. He's going to run to 16. He's going to set his guy up, plant, stop, and then burst away and be right where he's supposed to be. So Coda is going to be huge as someone who can help mitigate some of the there's going to be some growing pains for some of those young guys during the season, as explosive as they may be, but having Coda is going to help mitigate some of that.
A great kind of, man, why do I keep on...
Aaron's on fire. It just took him 30 shows to get there.
Keep complimenting Aaron? He hit the nail on the head. In a great example of that would be Keenan Howery, Jason Willis, and Sammy Parker. Right? Sammy Parker was by far the most explosive of all those guys. I mean, that guy could drop into another gear and just flat out run. But Keenan Howery was the first of that group to play because he was polished, because he knew exactly where to be. He knew exactly when to sit, when to run, down and distance, find the sticks. Jason Willis, same thing. He learned how to fit into that exact type of spot where you need him to be. Sammy was almost too fast that he couldn't quite slow himself down, and he kind of overrun those spots. But that's kind of where Oregon is sitting right now. They've got a bunch of talent. They need those guys like Chase Coda. Hopefully Thornton develops into that all-around type of wide receiver. But yeah, you need those guys to not just be super fast, but know where to be at the right time.
All right, when we come back on Talkin' Ducks, we'll talk some more about the defense. They actually did show out for the majority of this spring game. We'll get our thoughts from the guys when we return.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Thanks, kiddo.
Give everyone peace of mind on the road. Swing by or book online. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
being able to get LASIK gave me the opportunity to not worry about putting contacts in every day, and just kind of made my life a little easier. Pacific ClearVision Institute was just incredible through my entire experience. The staff was very welcoming. Dr. Embody, he really just kind of laid it out and made me feel comfortable and gave me confidence to know that I was in good hands. I would definitely recommend Pacific ClearVision Institute for any sort of laser eye surgery.
Welcome to your Capital Toyota.
From the moment you walk through the doors, we're here for you.
Buy, sell, trade.
We got you covered.
It's everything you need in one place.
Great service? Check.
Easy to work with?
Check.
We want you to be happy, and it shows in everything we do.
Because we respect your time.
It's all the quality and convenience in one package.
New or Toyota certified pre-owned.
Our people are your people.
Capital Toyota. It's your way on the Parkway.
You're watching Talkin' Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Welcome back. Let's hit Victory Road, presented by Capital Toyota in Salem. Your way on the Parkway. Here's Dan Lanning on the defense and DJ Johnson.
You know, I'm focused on what we got to get better at, to be honest, just watching that spring game. But I'm excited about the energy that our coaches bring and the energy our players bring day in and day out. We've got, you know, a lot of opportunities obviously to improve, but if you play with fanatical effort, you run to the ball, if you tackle physically, which I think we could have done a lot better today, you know, then you got a chance to win games. But the takeaways, you know, that's a big benefit. I think DJ can be, you know, one of the best players in the conference. I see him develop every single day in and day out. One of the best players in the nation if he continues to push himself to the level he's capable of. I'm excited to see what he did today, but he has that growth mindset, right? He's got to go say, okay, what can I do better? How can I improve on where I'm at and not be satisfied, which I think DJ will do.
Aaron, thoughts on the defense?
Yeah, so back to DJ. It's just a fascinating story. This guy was the 7th rated weak side defensive end in the country coming out of high school. Went to Miami, had Bama was all over him. So it's kind of crazy that he transfers to Oregon, he becomes a tight end, and now he's back playing defense. There's no doubt in my mind that probably playing tight end has helped him as a defensive end because he knows more about what offensive linemen are thinking, what tight ends are thinking in terms of pass protection, what they don't want to have happen to them. He can probably use that knowledge to his benefit. But you see that explosiveness. Now, you know, people can say all they want about, oh, he's not going to be Kayvon. Well, he doesn't have to be Kayvon. He just has to be good. Nick Reed wasn't Kayvon. Nick Reed gave it 19 sacks, right? So they need guys who can win one-on-ones because you just lost by far your best player to do that. And so now maybe you have something in him where he's going to be someone that's a scheme against, unlike UCLA against Kayvon. That's another story. But anyway, so that's huge for the development of this defense because they didn't have a lot of sacks last year with Kayvon. I think it was at least the amount they've had in 20-something years. I did a podcast, the Ducks Confidential podcast. You can find it on OregonLive, with James Kreppe, who covers the team. And we talked about how what this defense needs to do to improve, one, change some scheme things, which James and I agree that Lanning's going to be a better schemer than maybe DeRuyter was. But you got to find multiple guys who can win the one-on-one to get the pass rush home and not just rely on a guy. DJ gives you a guy who's probably going to be one of those guys, and you got to find a couple more. But he could be special enough to be a guy that someone has to scheme against, and that's huge for this team moving forward because my biggest concern is you didn't sack that many quarterbacks last year, and you lost a top 5 pick who does that. How do you get better? They could actually get better even by losing Kayvon in that
Okay,
area.
quick. Just a thought. Potentially, could they be better because you've lost that one player, right? You've lost, it's like a basketball team who's, you got your scorer and everybody just kind of, passes off. Now you've got DJ, now you've got Flo back, now you've got Noah Sewell, now you've got Bennett Williams, and you have a defensive coordinator or a defensive coach and a coordinator who are coming in to try and be unique and try and be explosive and I don't know. I like the idea of having the sum of the parts be more than just that one outstanding individual player. I don't know.
All right, when we come back, we'll try to keep up with Mekhi Williams, who made history over the weekend. Plus, we'll jump over some hurdles with Devin Allen and catch up with him as he tries to balance both track and field and the NFL now. Talkin' Ducks, we'll be right back.
Parr Lumber is committed to providing the best customer service. We provide personal service. We're problem solvers. We're positive and courteous. We're competent and professional. We are committed to delivering exceptional service every time. We're appreciative and we care. We are Parr Lumber.
Eugene Airport is a proud part of what makes Western Oregon such a unique place to be. With nonstop routes that connect to hundreds of destinations, fly local, fly EUG.
In the heart of the South Willamette Valley, just 12 miles southwest of Eugene, distinctive handcrafted wines are waiting for you at Sylvan Ridge Winery. Sylvan Ridge Wines bring unassuming, casual elegance to your homes, tables, and celebrations, and are best paired with the mainstays of a social gathering: good food, fond friends, and lively conversation. Discover our wines by visiting our tasting room. For a list of events or to plan your visit, go to sylvanridge.com. Proud partners of the Oregon Ducks.
Since 1961, Comfort Flow Heating has provided service to more than 50,000 homes and businesses in the Willamette Valley. While the technology and techniques in our industry have changed, our founding principles have remained the same: to provide exceptional service in all areas of our business and for our customers to enjoy their products from us and be comfortable for years to come.
From all of us at Comfort Flow, thank you for choosing us.
Go Ducks!
You're watching Talkin' Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Time now for some excellence off the football field, presented by Ferguson Wellman. Ferguson Wellman taking a disciplined approach to investing, and we check in and try to catch up with Mekhi Williams. Woo! A blistering 9.86 to win the 100-meter dash at the USATF Golden Games at the Mount Sac Relays. Mekhi could certainly make some noise in 2022. Don't forget, you have the World Outdoor Championships at Hayward Field this July. And listen, as an Oregon-born sprinter, as someone that had to do those meets in the pouring sideways rain, I can't tell you how happy I am to see an Oregon sprinter, Mekhi Williams, just shock the world with that timing. He is just getting started. I think we are looking at the next American sprint star in Mekhi Williams. So Mekhi, hats off to you. That is one heck of a performance. Can't wait to see what you continue to do throughout the season. Time now for What's Cooking, brought to you by Sam's Northwest Barbecue, the largest brick-and-mortar specialty barbecue store in the Northwest. Our conversation with Devin Allen, the most recent signee of the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's start with his 40-yard dash. So, Obviously, you've been busy doing track. You come in, you do the Oregon Pro Day, and you bust out a 4:35:40. Were you happy with that time? Because it seemed like it really turned some heads.
Yeah, I mean, I'm content with it. I think I can run a 4.2 if I just spend a little bit more time practicing. It's much different, especially from using blocks to just doing a 3-point start, and then also way more different than a hurdle start. Just because, in the first 15 yards, you got to be up tall running full speed. So definitely a learning curve, but I think I did okay considering, and I'm happy with it in general. I knew I was going to run fast. It's just how fast I was going to run.
Yeah, some fast guy problems right there. So you signed with the Eagles, and I'm curious, what was their conversation like with you, and did you get any other interest from any other teams as well?
To be honest, yeah, the Eagles reached out pretty quickly after Pro Day, actually about 20 minutes after I left. I spoke to Howie Roseman on the phone. He was interested in signing me and kind of getting an idea of what I was doing in terms of just in general, like track wise, training wise, to get an idea of my availability and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. And obviously you always want to go somewhere where you're wanted. So I felt like the Eagles was a good fit for that. And me and my agent kind of had that conversation as well. I said, hey, there's a few teams interested. They want you to come out and visit this and that, but the Eagles are ready to sign you. And I was like, well, in life, you always want to go with somebody that wants you, whether it be your girlfriend or whatever. So I was super excited that the fact that they reached out and were interested in having me to contribute. And I think I can contribute a lot, to that team. And I believe I can be a game changer and a playmaker and kind of help those guys win as well.
Sage advice, my friend. And so remind everybody about what your calendar is going to look like, because you're down in LA getting ready for the Mount Sac relays. You still have a lot of track to compete in this year, and then you're going to go into training camp, correct?
Correct. So actually, yeah. So I'm competing in Mount Sac this week. I'm flying back to Maryland next week to train. That's where I train at Annapolis at the Naval Academy. I'm going to run in the home meet there next weekend. And then on that Sunday, I'm going to drive up to Philly. First week of OTA starts on the 25th. So I'll spend the week in Philly, the 25th to the 28th for the first week of OTAs. And then April 30th, I'm running in the pin relays in Philly. So
that's crazy, man. That's crazy. I love it.
That's pretty much how it's going to look for a bit. And then into May, a little bit more strenuous OTAs and rookie mini camp and stuff like that will happen. So I'm going to be a part of as much as I physically possibly can, outside of, maybe having to travel to a competition or something like that as well, prepping for USAs and Worlds this year. But yeah, I'm going to be very, very busy for sure.
Now, you still have practice squad eligibility available, so I'm curious, what's the goal? Is it active roster the first year? Do you just want to get onto that practice squad with them so you can continue to learn the system and get reacclimated to football? What have you and your agent talked about?
To be honest, and it's just like my confidence as an athlete, I'm probably the fastest and the most athletic I've been in my life, the strongest I've been. So I feel pretty confident that I can get on that active roster and realistically contribute. Played wide receiver, help the Eagles win football games. I can do a lot of things on special teams as well. That's a big, game changer sometimes. You have a good return, you can swing the field 40, 50 yards and kind of change the game. So I think for sure that's my goal, and I've been working towards that. And I understand there's a lot to learn. Football is football. At the end of the day, I know the schemes are a little bit different. I know the intensity is, going one more level up from college, but it's the same game I played for 20 years. So I'm excited to do it.
Devin, your confidence never ceases to amaze me, and trust me, coming from me, I hope you can pull both off. So best of luck, man. Thanks again for joining us, and can't wait to see what the future holds for you.
Jordan, thanks for having me again. Always good talking to you.
All right, coming up next, we'll fly around the Pac-12 and take a closer look at NIL and how it's changing the ever-evolving world of college football. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Stories tell us that great leaders are anointed at birth, chosen by the hand of fate. But those are just stories.
You're watching Talkin' Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Time now to fly around the Pac-12, brought to you by Eugene Airport. Fly easy, fly EUG. And let's revisit more of our conversation the other day about NIL and how it's changing the world of college football.
It's going to be mass chaos. It's a free market system. Boosters have huge egos, especially the rich ones, right? They somehow made it rich for whatever reason. They're usually going to be alpha males. They have a lot of money. They've always had success. They have an attachment to a football team, whether they went there to the program or school or not, and they start putting money into it. Well, why are they putting money into it? So they can say they're a part of it. And then if the wins, they can brag about it. Well, if they're not winning, then you're going to put more money into it. And this is why you have cheating in the first place. This is why we've had cheating. We know that most major programs have cheated at least a little bit, and then some have a lot of it. So now there's no cheating. It's just, you just put together a collective and you can throw money around. You can have USC, have Beats by Dre give Caleb Williams $1 million to play college football. It's not going to stop. It's going to keep going and going and going. And so the problem is not everyone can win. Only one team can win a national championship. Only 4 can go to the playoffs. So that's going to cause other programs to start spending more and more and more and more. Or not programs, sorry, the boosters. Figure out where to spend more and more and more. It's just keep going and going and going. But then something's going to happen. What's going to happen is someone's going to realize, oh, I'm paying Caleb Williams $1 million and we just lost to the Washington State kid who's making $50K. Then things get weird. The other thing too is if I'm playing offensive line for USC, how much am I getting to protect the $1 million boy? And is the $1 million boy walking around acting like a prima donna doofus? Because if he is, he might get slapped. Because he's got $1 million, I got nothing, and I may not slap him myself. I just may not give an absolute 100%. We know this happens in the NFL. So I think it's going to be mass chaos. I hate it. I'm not going to hate the players. I'm going to hate the game. I think it's going to destroy college football as we know it. I think they should at some point pretty soon just say, screw it. Who are we fooling? Let's just create another pro league. That's almost like a minor league, but still have the teams, some of the teams tied to the university for the purposes of logos and the connection, et cetera, et cetera. But it's just going to be ridiculous from here on out.
Yeah, if they don't, and I don't know what they could do at this point, but if they don't do something quickly, it will absolutely just completely spiral out of control. Like college football has changed as we know it. It has officially changed this offseason. Like, this is different than it was even last year, because the idea of the NIL, like owning your own name, image, and likeness, allowed players to be able to go down and, sign a deal with the pizza, with Tracktown Pizza. And it's like, hey, I'll make an appearance and, I can get some gift certificates. No, this is completely different. And I don't know if this is what people expected to happen. If people had hoped this would happen, I don't know that anybody really had a true idea of what this was going to turn into and how it would affect the landscape of college football. Because, Aaron, you bring up so many different great points. How does this affect the relation? When everybody's getting the same $673 scholarship check, that backup right guard is the same as your All-American wide receiver, right? But when Caleb Williams is getting 7 figures and his center isn't getting anything, like where do you draw the line?
The center needs to go to the quarterback and say, "Yo, bro, you got to kick me down 50K."
Is that what happens? I mean, is that what
this
is going to turn into? Is guys like negotiating these? You get $1 million in your endorsement deal, but you have to give all 5 of your offensive linemen $25,000. Like, there has to be some sort of oversight. And I know that that's like the worst possible word, considering what the NCAA was and what it was criticized, how it was criticized for so long, is because they were Big Brother that wouldn't let that had too much oversight. But you're truly just opening this thing up to to chaos. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's going to turn into which booster wants to pay the most. What was it? Texas A&M had 8 dudes come in on the offense or on the defensive line that are all getting paid, 6 figures. I mean, I don't know. And maybe we just kind of maybe it's natural selection, right? Maybe all those guys that get their cash in 1 year, as enter the transfer portal, and then they're gone, right? And then they go, and then it all just kind of redistributes out over college football. I don't know. I don't have a good answer, but I know that as of this offseason, college football has changed. And you either need to accept that and let it go where it goes, or take the mindset that, yes, we've opened a door that we need to kind of close back down a little bit, not completely shut, but just put some parameters on this, acknowledging that it could spiral out of control. But either way, I mean, this game has changed.
Well, hey, okay, let me finish. Don't say anything until I finish, okay? We know we live in the land of opportunity. Understand that, correct? And this is America. We can go make our money. So don't be mad at me, Aaron, because I'm making $100,000 and you're not making anything, but you still got to block for me. Hey, do your job. Block for me. You came to Oregon, go ahead and block. No, I'm just kidding, guys. No. This is not a car wreck. This is a car going off the cliff. This is ridiculous. It really is. I mean, so teams or guys are looking for teams that's going to pay them more money compared to where I'm going to a team to win a championship. The whole thing has changed. The narrative has changed. So it's crazy, and I don't know how this thing is going to end. But there's too much money going out there, and I think at the beginning, or someone came up with the concept to help these kids in school a little bit, to help them, get some meals throughout the whole year, not just training table. But it's become just big dollars, big booster, who has more money, and who's going to pay the guy the most money to come to their school. Wow, this is going to be crazy.
Well, that's a good point, Anthony. This door was opened because college athletes were saying, I couldn't afford to go out and get a slice of pizza with my friends.
Well, and it was a violation if someone bought you a pizza.
Exactly, right? But so what was the point of this? There was 2 things. One, I couldn't afford to eat at the end of the month. That was the narrative, right? And 2, the universities are making all this money off of my picture, off of my name, and I should be able to have a piece of that. That was where it started. I'm curious to see, and I don't, and maybe this is just being extremely, maybe Fentress has just worn off on me and I'm becoming extremely pessimistic, is that I'm curious to see who's the first kid who goes out and takes that money and buys a Maserati and then crashes it, right? Who's the first I told you so moment, right? Because that's not what this was meant to be. This was meant to say we need to have some equity. The players need to make a piece off of their name. They need to be able to put food in the fridge. They don't need to have a Maserati and a 7-figure contract at 17 years old, right? Is there, and I'm just kind of speaking off here because, hey, free market economy, I get it. You can bring in what your product sells. But if the point of this was to take care of the student athletes, right? If that was truly the basis, the foundation of this decision was to take care of the student athletes, I don't know that completely just flinging this door wide open is truly taking care of them. I don't know that that's looking out for their long-term success. That's just a thought.
With 9 locations in the Pacific Northwest, Parr's Cabinet Design Center features everything from outdoor cabinets and countertops to sinks and hardware. Thousands of door styles and colors available to order, as well as kitchen and bath cabinets in stock. All available at the Parr Cabinet Design Center.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we had gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Thanks, kiddo.
Give everyone peace of mind on the road. Swing by or book online. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Being able to get LASIK gave me the opportunity to not worry about putting contacts in every day, and just kind of made my life a little easier. Pacific ClearVision Institute was just incredible through my entire experience. The staff was very welcoming. Dr. Embody, he really just kind of laid it out and made me feel comfortable and gave me confidence to know that I was in good hands. I would definitely recommend Pacific ClearVision Institute for any sort of laser eye surgery.
Welcome to your Capital Toyota.
From the moment you walk through the doors, we're here for you.
Buy, sell, trade.
We got you covered.
It's everything you need in one place.
Great service? Check.
Easy to work with?
Check.
We want you to be happy, and it shows in everything we do.
Because we respect your time.
It's all the quality and convenience in one package.
New or Toyota certified pre-owned.
Our people are your people.
Capital Toyota. It's your way on the Parkway.
Since 1961, Comfort Flow Heating has provided service to more than 50,000 homes and businesses in the Willamette Valley. While the technology and techniques in our industry have changed, our founding principles have remained the same: to provide exceptional service in all areas of our business and for our customers to enjoy their products from us and be comfortable for years to come.
From all of us at Comfort Flow, thank you for choosing us.
Go Ducks!
You're watching Talkin' Ducks, built by Parr Lumber. Welcome back. Let's get to the hot topic, brought to you by Comfort Flow Heating, the HVAC industry leader in Western Oregon since 1961. All right, guys, I know it's early. We've got to be those media members that give you some stupid, bold prediction before the season starts and see if we end up thinking that we're smart when the year does come here. But looking at this team, everything we've digested with the new coaching hire, with spring ball, and Aaron, I'd like to start with you here. What's a bold prediction you have for this upcoming season?
A bold prediction? Man, I don't know if I have a bold prediction.
You've had 48 hours to think about this here.
I know, but it's like I'm really kind of set in what I think about this team. If I had to make a bold prediction...
Okay, then just give us your prediction. It doesn't have to be bold. You've never been a bold guy anyway. You've been bald, but not bold.
Okay, well played. Well played.
Who's our HR person? Okay, anyway, no, I'm gonna say that
you're talking to him.
I don't.
Jordan.
The North is still pretty weak. So, and they don't play USC. So to me, Georgia, BYU, UCLA, and Utah are the only real 4 threats. So I set the over/under at 8.5, and I think they win 9. I think 9-3 is legit. Now, if I have a bold prediction, it's that the only game they lose is Georgia. They beat BYU. They figure things out, and they handle Utah and handle UCLA. The rest of the games, I think, are just going to be kind of not easy, but there's just so much more talent in those teams. So, bold prediction, if everything clicks in the passing game and Nix elevates, they could win 10 or 11.
Here's the bold prediction. Oregon's defense will lead the Pac-12 in total defense. Oregon's defense,
I love it.
It may take a moment to figure things out, but think of who they're getting back. They got Flo coming back. They got Sewell coming back. They got Bennett Williams coming back off of injury. You got DJ up front. Like this, the pieces of this defense, the talent that they've been talking about bringing in for years, are finally going to be healthy and are finally going to be playing together with a defensive coach, a defensive-minded coach who put a product on the field that that we wanted here in Eugene, right? That's why we brought this guy in. Oregon's defense will, at the end of the season, will lead the conference in total defense, and Dante Thornton will win the Heisman.
I'm with you. I think my one bold prediction is I think DJ Johnson will have more sacks this season than Kayvon Thibodeau ever had in his best season. I think it's going to be that kind of year for DJ Johnson. I'm going to be bold. But with that, fellas, we did it. One full season under our belts, 30 episodes. And to all of you that joined us, recorded us, tuned in, we appreciate it. We're just getting started with Talkin' Ducks. Lots of exciting stuff for Season 2. You'll see us again when we get closer to the start of the regular season, so check us out late August. We'll give you some news and some announcements, but thank you for your support this year. It's been great. Guys, great to get along with you as well, too. Enjoy some time off. Joey, take a break from reading the recruiting rankings and making early predictions. I know you love to do that right now, okay? So just do me a favor and rest, all of you.
Deep breath. I got it.